Hello, Rise Up Visionaries. I'm Susan May, and I'm here to guide you on a path to feeling connected, calm, and confident. Okay, so I just want to dive a little bit deeper into this whole idea of medical freedom that I brought up last week, but which is really the basis for Rise Up with Susan May, with the vision I have for empowering all medical freedom advocates. So I asked people, what do you think a medical freedom advocate is? And I got some really great answers, both in comments and in email. And so one person mentioned this idea of my body, my choice, and how there is a lot of hypocrisy surrounding that statement, which I 100% agree with. If we believe in my body, my choice, and we can get into the nuances, we can get into what that means on different issues, but the bottom line is, if we believe in a human autonomy and freedom on any level, if we don't get to decide what is done to our bodies, then what does freedom mean, right? Another commenter said that it's our inalienable, God-given right. It's our human right, which I 100% agree with. And the thing is you don't really need proof for this. This is something that we know in our gut. And I have a story about that, about knowing something. When I was a school teacher, the first week I taught, and this was in an urban setting, by the end of the week, we taught Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because it was Labor Day week. We started later in the week. I asked the student to stay after class because he had been disruptive the entire class. And I was standing in the door, and he pushed me out of the way so that he could leave. Now, as an inexperienced teacher, I did not do the right thing. I should not have blocked him from leaving. I should have asked him to leave, and if he chose to not to leave, I should have asked him to stay. And then if he chose to leave and not listen to me, then I should have taken the steps, calling his parents, telling the administrator. But I was very inexperienced, okay? I had literally no teaching experience. But the point of this story is that all my other students felt for me. They were like, Miss, that wasn't right. That was wrong. There are certain things that we know are wrong, okay? Medical freedom is one of those things. We understand that this is a human right, okay? Another person replied to my email and talked about how they don't really feel comfortable being open about being a medical freedom advocate, but because it's so important, they do it anyway. And I want to get more into that idea of pushing our comfort zones and being brave, okay? So before I do that though, I want to talk about the power of words, because there is a word that is used to describe people that ask questions about these things that go into our bodies that is a slur. It has become something so negative that it's associated with being ignorant, with being dangerous, with being selfish, with being a science denier, and you all know that word, okay? Now, we can associate with that word, or we can embrace that we are medical freedom advocates, and we should be proud of that, because that is us sticking up for our human rights and for other people's human rights. And so it's really, really important when we are going out into the world, when we're being 100% ourselves, or being true to ourselves, when we're making decisions and interacting with other people, that we feel that strong confidence, that we feel that we are on the right side of history, that we feel we are proud of the person we are, and for the values that we believe in and that we're standing up for, okay? And so that's the power of words. When you start to realize, oh my gosh, I have nothing to be ashamed of. I am not selfish. I am not ignorant. I am making the best choice for me and my family and for our health. And what's healthy for me is good and healthy for society too. Okay, so really you got to start flipping these things upside down. You got to start feeling them in your bones, okay? It's so important. Now, I want to talk about this idea of being brave, because every day I sign off, be bold, be brave, be you. And I recently had a friend on in my Gather and Get Moving group. I'm starting this new thing once a month where it's called Gather and Gab. And this is a friend of mine that truly inspired me with her bravery. She just knew from the start, she didn't stop living her life, she kept going out, she resisted the mask mandate almost 100%. And so those people are very inspiring to me, but they can also be, I think, intimidating for some people and make some people feel bad about themselves. And here's what I want to say about being brave. When I say be bold, be brave, be you, if you're not a bold, brash person, I'm not telling you to be loud and arrogant, and I'm not telling you to change who you are when I say be bold. I'm saying embrace who you are, embrace your strengths, embrace whatever it is that you bring to the table. When I say be bold, what I mean is be yourself. If someone says something that you don't agree with or that's not cool, you can say, hey man, that's not cool. Or you can, if you're not there yet, you choose to not participate in the discussion. You don't actively agree with them. There are different baby steps we can take along the way when we're not feeling super brave, when we're not feeling super bold. And believe me, this has been a process for me. I do not feel bold and brave all the time. And so I want you to know that, because I think there's this assumption that some people are bold and brave and some people aren't. But that's not what we need. What we need, and Zuby's the one that brought this idea to my mind. He actually replied to some of my emails. Look up Zuby. He's a really cool dude. Zuby. He said we all just need to be a little bit braver. So wherever you are on your path, you need to just be a little bit braver. You don't need to jump from I'm scared out of my mind, I'm never going to say anything, to like, out in the streets with a bullhorn declaring who you are with your picket sign. No, what you need to do is take a small step. Maybe you confide in someone that you trust. Maybe you tell your partner, hey man, I'm having these questions and I can't stop thinking about them. Being bold and being brave is a process, okay? And it's also a practice. So the more you do it, the stronger your brave muscles get and the better you get at it, okay? So that's my message for you today. I feel like I was supposed to circle back to something. Medical freedom. That's where it's at right here. My mission is to make medical freedom advocates stronger, okay? And so one thing that we're going to dive into this week, now that I've kind of wrapped that up, but don't worry, we'll keep talking about it. But we're going to talk about this idea of being alone and what it means when we feel alone. Why do we feel alone? Is it true that we're really alone? And this idea of speaking up and being true to yourself is going to feed into this sensation of being alone. You will see that if you start being bolder and braver, people come out of the woodwork and you will start to see that you are not alone. Okay, so that's just a little segue. If you're not on my email list, get on there, because I have a series lined up for you for the next month, once a week, a newsletter that is just going to guide you through what I think is this path to being ourselves, this path to peace. And in the end of September, I am running a free challenge, which I'm super excited about. It's called the Get Moving Challenge. So if you're a medical freedom advocate and you feel stuck for any reason, you're anxious, you feel alone, you're overwhelmed, you just feel like a little depressed, like there's just a lot going on in the world and you don't know how to get going again. Whatever the reason, this challenge is for you. It's free. I'm going to be putting links in comments and having you sign up. So get there. Get on my email list. That's what I'm going to say today. Get on my email list if you're not there yet. I'm going to post the link in the comments. I love you all. And remember, you know what I'm going to say. Be bold. Be brave. Be you. Because who else is there to be? I will see you again soon. And I hope your week is off to a fantastic start. Bye.